Let me see if I can find the live stream. And we're just going to do some quick general watch talk. And then we are going to call it a day because I'm starting late because I had a video shoot this afternoon and got back late. And that sometimes happens. We'll give some time for some of the Rolex trolls to get in here. And hey there. Howdy. Hello there. Quick wristwatch check. Stunning Grand Seiko diver. And under the watchful eye of the Panasonic FZ1000 is my gold stunner. My gold stunner, which I wore all day today, out and about. That puppy was on the wrist. So we're going to talk about some nasty Rolex trolls, and then we'll talk about anything else that you all want to talk about. Any watch questions that you may have, any other related questions that you may have. We will address any and all of them. Yes, we will. So I'm going to pull up something here on my Facebook. Give me a second here. Okay. Let me find it here. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find this. Let me go somewhere else here. See all in Messenger. Here we go. So I'm going to pull this up here. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Let me go back to the chat before I share this and we talk about this. What a surprise. What's up, Craig? Been a minute. Okay. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. So we'll be here in a second. Ask the trolls. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. In the chat, folks have been talking about me and calling me creepy and all this and calling me a pedophile. And I got a message from somebody on Facebook, and I'll share it here. And that's a chain there of a conversation, and where they referred to me and they said that he pretended to be a reporter to take videos of underage cheerleaders. Google it. He's a goddamn pedo. Okay? That's in the chat. I replied to Charlie, who shared this with me, that it's total BS, and I'll explain to you all why it is total BS. And, of course, if that person had researched any of this, he'd realize it was total BS. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. 7 or 8 years ago, the Frederick News Post here in Frederick, Maryland, USA, did an article, and they put a lot of innuendos in the article. They wrote it in such a way that I couldn't really sue them, but they certainly framed the article to try to make it look like I was a pedophile or something like that. They did the best they could. But the problem is that there were really no facts to back up what they said. Yes, I was at a high school football game and I took some photos of some cheerleaders. I've taken photos of a lot of people and a lot of cheerleaders. They always know I'm taking their photos. I put them up on the website. Frederick.com is a community website that is all about Frederick, Maryland, USA. And guess what? One of our big competitors here in this footprint is the Frederick News Post. Imagine that. So the Frederick News Post was having a lot of trouble because we were taking a lot of their advertisers because the internet is more efficient than the old-fashioned newspaper. Believe that. And so in desperation, they decided to do a hatchet job article on me. Like I say, this is 7 years ago. You can Google it. It's still up. The article's still up. Just Google my name and cheerleaders. You'll find it. And they did the best they could to try to drive me out of business with this hatchet job article. And I said as much in the article. They did at least put a little quote in there from me saying that the reason they were doing this because we were competitors. At least they did include that. They didn't include everything that I said, of course. But so the bottom line is every photo that I've ever taken, I've put up on my Flickr photo stream. They're still up there. And I believe every photo that I have ever taken has been PG or G-rated, family-friendly content, I'll put it that way. Content that you could show to anybody. And I stand by that. And I have no problem with taking photos of attractive people, including attractive females. There are a lot of photos like that on my Flickr account. And guess what? I get a lot of followers because of it. I get a lot of views on videos because of my content. Now, I think it's a stretch to say because of that, somebody's a pedophile. And I think if somebody said that to my face, it probably would not be a good day for them. But these trolls, these nasty trolls, maybe because they've been insulted because I didn't play up to their fetish for steel Rolexes and for paying too much and for buying several of them and treating them like their pets, or for whatever reasons, they've decided to take an article that was obviously a hatchet job. If you read it carefully, you'll realize what their motive was. And you'll realize there was no substance to it. They even referred to a, quote, investigation, which never existed. There was never any investigation. And then somebody says that I was pretending to be press. I wasn't pretending to be press. My press badges and all are huge. I don't pretend to be it. I am it. I am the press here in Frederick County, Maryland, USA. Frederick.com is the press. And that's what the Frederick News Post doesn't like. First of all, they don't like the fact that I own the domain name Frederick.com, and they don't. They don't like the fact that I own the domain name FrederickNews.com, and they don't. I even own FrederickCounty.com, and I'm using it for a county down in Virginia by the same name. They don't like any of these things. And a couple of years ago, they had to sell out. They basically went out of business. Basically, a company down in Virginia bought them out so that they could buy their press, really. Really what they wanted was the press that the Frederick News Post was using. It was a very expensive press, and that's really what they wanted. The paper has dwindled down to its, like a quarter of an inch thick. They made it smaller this way. I mean, they are within a millimeter of being totally out of business, the Frederick News Post. And yet they think they're all that in a bag of chips still. And as far as I'm concerned, them going out of business couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of folks. And guess what? Before they did the article on me trying to do a hatchet job and trying to destroy Frederick.com, before they did that article, they tried to buy Frederick.com. And I turned them down. So imagine that. Imagine that. Isn't that something? Isn't that a coincidence? So in any event, I'm putting it out there. I'm putting this information out there because I think that people should know what's going on and what went on and so on. So I make no apologies for my content. I think that my videos are all appropriate, every single last one of them, or I wouldn't have published them. I think my photos are all appropriate, every last one of them, or I wouldn't have published them. And the vast majority of the people in Frederick County, Maryland, USA are very happy with my content, my coverage of parades, my coverage of all kinds of events. If you go to my website, CraigShipp.com, and you go to the About section, and you click on the references link, I have a link to hundreds of references from prominent people here in Frederick County, Maryland, USA, who have been very supportive of all my event coverage and everything that I've done to promote the footprint. So, that's the deal. And I figured I'd put this on the record live. And if anything I'm saying is not true, guess what? The Frederick News Post can take action against me. They can do whatever they want. That'd be good. I'd love to have it out with them, those nasty trolls. And so that's the name of that deal. Craig, should I buy a polyester sport coat? It's less than half the price of Harris Tweed. No, buy the Harris Tweed off of eBay. You can get some real deals on some really nice sport coats on eBay. You can even do better if you go to Goodwill or any of the thrift stores if you get lucky. You're going to have to get lucky. It's going to take time. It's not going to be something where you just go in. Well, you might just go in the first time and find one that fits you like a glove and that's in mint condition and, it's a beautiful sport coat. But you might have to go to several places and you might have to hunt a little bit and so on. But I have friends that have done it successfully and gotten some really high-end stuff. And that's why I published all those labels for you guys, so that you can go to that photo section on my Flickr and go and look at all the labels and see Hart, Shafter and Marks, Hickey Freeman, H. Freeman and Sons, Brooks Brothers, all the different names that you want to look for. Because here's the thing: if you're buying them used, either on eBay or whatever, you're not going to pay that much more for the best of the best. When I say the best of the best, I mean off the rack, best of the best. Obviously, you can go bespoke and you can get even better still. But if you get a Hart, Shafter and Marks or Hickey Freeman, or, you get a really high-end not made to order, off the rack sport coat that fits you, that's made of exotic materials, even if it's just made of really high quality wool, it's going to be well-made, nice piece. And you're gonna love it. It's gonna feel so nice when you wear that sport coat. They just feel so comfortable. You get a high-end sport coat and you put it on and you wear it, it just feels really nice, especially if it's made of camel hair. And if you get camel hair, get 100% camel hair, not a blend. The blends will pill up on you. Get 100% camel hair, or get like 100% cashmere. Don't get a cashmere and wool blend. You're going to do good. Okay, bed bug risks at thrift stores. You got to be careful. Absolutely. Anything you buy that way, you do have to be careful. And one thing you don't want to do is bring an article of clothing into your home that is at all questionable. So here's the thing. If you find a mint condition sport coat at a thrift store, And you can examine it very closely and make sure there's no wear anywhere, no signs of wear anywhere. I mean, it's got to be mint to even consider it. And so let's say it is mint. Doesn't smell, you smell it, it doesn't have like a cigarette smoke or whatever. It's not nasty in any way. It is by all observances in mint condition. Buy it if it fits you perfectly. And take it to the cleaners. Have them clean it. It's going to be cleaned thoroughly. You take it to a dry cleaner, they go through that process. They're going to get rid of any eggs, any eggs from moths that might eat it or whatever, anything that might be there that's dormant or whatever. They're going to get rid of whatever. You have it cleaned. You're still going to be way ahead of the game as compared to spending, $2,500 and buying it new. And that's what it's going to cost for a high-end sport coat. It's not going to cost $500. It's going to be $2,500. Okay, if you're getting the high-end stuff. Okay, so let's see here. Hack newspapers. Okay. All right, yeah, I think I'm caught up here. Okay, so Rolex fools, movement watches are better than Rolex. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. LOL, okay. Craig, I'm seeing a couple of GS titanium divers for $5,500 to $6,000, new/used. My AD quoted me $7,200 plus tax. No, that's way too much. It only lists for $7,100. You're talking about this diver here. This is titanium. I think list is $7,100. So you should easily be able to buy it new for $6,000. Easily new, brand new, maybe even less if you're a good negotiator. I have nothing against anybody negotiating. Negotiate. Absolutely. No, I wouldn't pay. Yeah, I mean, brand new. I think you might even be able to buy it for the $5,500 brand new. Be a strong negotiator. I bought mine for cash. And I'm not going to say how much I paid for this. I got a really good deal, but it was not typical, I don't think, because Steve, let's face it, okay? Let's be totally honest here, as Archie would say. Let's be totally honest. Steve knows that I'm a little bit of an influencer, okay? I'll put it that way. He knew at the time he sold me this watch that I had done the video on the SBDC 007 Shogun, and that video had 700,000 views, okay? He knew this. So he knew if I bought this watch from him and I liked it and I did videos, he knew it would help him sell watches. Now, he didn't know how many videos I would do, and he didn't know how many watches I would help him sell, but he knew it would be beneficial. So he did give me a very good price on this watch. Now, I didn't steal it. I don't think he lost money, but he cut it down to the bone. He gave me a good deal. And I was happy, he was happy, and that's what it's about. It's about doing deals, folks, and hopefully both sides of the transaction are happy, okay? And I, I work for my soup. I mean, I put out, I got videos out there, and I've helped him out, and I make no bones about it that I've helped him out. And I would have done none of the above if I didn't love the watch, and I wouldn't be wearing the watch on a daily basis if I didn't love it. Life is too short, in my opinion, to wear a watch that you don't love and that you don't really enjoy having on your wrist. It's too short. And you guys, most of you all are younger than me, and you'll see as time goes by, you'll see time goes fast as you get older. It just goes in a blink of an eye. And so, what's that country song where the guy talks about that? Anyway, it's true. I mean, it just accelerates. it's scary. It really is scary because, I mean, I'll probably snap my fingers and I'm going to be 80 years old. You know, I mean, that's just the way it goes. So don't wear crappers on your wrist. Wear a nice watch. Craig, have you been drinking? Yeah, I've been drinking some beautiful H2O. We got well water here. Well water. And it is fantastic. The well water here is fantastic. What do you think of the new GS GMT quartz? I am intrigued by it. I want to take some closer looks at it next time I go over to Little Treasury Jewelers. I am tempted to get another 9F quartz. Let's look at a 9F quartz here. By the way, somebody asked me about this today, about this watch. They asked me how I got it, and I told them, I said I bought it on eBay. It's not a mystery. I bought it on eBay. I think it was $3,200. I keep forgetting if it was $3,200 or $3,300. It was one or the other. Shipped. Total cost. And there's a couple of others on there right now. So, I mean, it's hard to get, but it's not hard to get, if that makes any sense. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 of them for sale. The ones with the gold dial, this is like, I think, called the ivory dial. The ones with the gold dial, they tend to sell for less. And I don't like the looks of them, but maybe it's just the photos on the web that don't look that good. Maybe in person it would look fine. But I like this ivory color dial. I think it's stunning. And you can't really tell right now because of the way the light's hitting the hands and all. You can't really, they look almost black, but they're actually gold. And it looks really great in the sunlight. It really has good reflections off of the hands and everything, and it's just like I was wearing it today, and I mean, you know, you got to be careful when you're driving down the road to not be looking at your watch. It's just freaking gorgeous. So anyway, they are buyable. They are on eBay, and you can buy them. I think there's one for about $3,600 or so right now that looks really nice. It's every bit as good of condition as mine is. Every bit as good. Okay, wait a second here. Jumping a little bit. Let me get on here. Okay, so I talked about the GMT. What El Primero do you have? The watch lounge. Okay, that's to somebody else. Okay, so he's got a 38 mil with blue dial, tricolor. Okay. I'd like to see a photo of that. Email me a photo and I'll put it up. My name at gmail.com. Craig, would you rather have a first flight with 50 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Would you rather have a first flight with 50 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? I don't know. The horse-sized duck would probably be pretty nasty because ducks are pretty nasty. He would probably tear you up. I think that'd be a nasty deal there. Nice. I have the Defi 21 open worked blue. Love Zenith. Nice. Zenith are sweet. If the shoes don't fit, don't wear them. Okay. You mean WEAR, Mike, not WHERE. But there's that. The GS GMT quartz looks cool. Yeah, well, and the other thing is it's thinner, you know. That's what I like. It's not very thick. So I think that could be an all-arounder. That might be able to go under a shirt cuff. That's the benefit there. I love the independently settable hour hand a lot. Yeah, if you travel, that's a big plus. If you travel through time zones. I don't travel through time zones that much anymore, but if I did, I would have a GMT. Back in the day when I did travel across time zones, I that's one of the watches I had. I had a GMT. The Rolex GMT. Okay, let's see. Oh, it jumped on me again. Give me a second here. Yeah, well water beats the lead-laced water that comes out of the tap here in Chicago. I hear you. Probably cold in Chicago, too. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. What I don't like about the 9F quartz GMTs is the bezel is fixed and too much looking like the Rolex Explorer 2. I hear you, but even on my Rolex GMT, I didn't use the feature where I rotated the bezel. I mean, so you can get like a third time zone and all that stuff. I mean, it just gets too complicated to me. I liked just having the hour hand that I could jump back and forth. And then I could keep the 24-hour hand on my local time, was what I usually did. And that worked well for me. But yeah, to each their own. Lead tastes slightly sweet, though. Oh, boy. The black-yellow GMT quartz is great. Saw it a couple of weeks ago. Very cool. So it looked good in person. It didn't look cheap, that yellow on there. I just haven't seen one in person. Wait. Maybe Steve did have one. Now I don't remember now. I don't think he had one. Said it is the most accurate watch he's ever reviewed. Well, yeah, but my gosh, 5 seconds a year, of course. I mean, now there is supposedly a Citizen that's rated at 2 seconds a year. But I mean, 5 seconds a year, my God. I mean, you'd have to be a real nutcase to have something more accurate than that. That's pretty insane. I'm debating between an older Explorer 2 and a more practical GMT GS quartz. Have an Explorer 1 36 mil already. Well, wait, are you getting an additional watch, or are you going to get rid of the Explorer 1? Because I definitely would not get an Explorer 2 if I had an Explorer 1. I'd rather just wear the Explorer 1 36 mil that you already have. I would just wear that. I think that's a pretty thin watch, too. I don't think there's a downside to the Explorer 1. Isn't that only 12 millimeters thick? That's an all-arounder. I think you can wear that under a shirt cuff. I don't think you need anything else, Tom. I think you're good. Plus minus 5 seconds per year. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Mine is 10 seconds a year. Moment of silence for mine. Mine's only accurate to 10 seconds a year. But I'm looking right now, and I'm comparing it to my computer, and it's still spot on. I mean, it hasn't budged since I set it. You know, like a month ago or whenever the hell I got it. I mean, it has not budged. It's just spot freaking on. The one with the non-24-hour bezel 007 is nice, but the green pattern dial is not really catching my interest. Yeah. There's a rumor they were coming out with some more models, Grand Seiko, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Watchland's going to email me the photo. Okay, did you send it yet? Let me check my email. Check my email. Zenith El Primero. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. That's looking pretty cool. Looking pretty cool. I'm not a chrono guy, but if I was a chrono guy, that would be something to think about. Absolutely. I just don't think I'd use a chronograph. Anytime I need to time something, usually the bezel on my dive watch, it does the trick, really. I mean, now if it's something I need to time longer than that, longer than 60 minutes, I would typically just use the phone, believe it or not. Can you imagine? Let's see. Craig, what is your opinion of Beggar Horrors. I'm not sure what that is. Let me Google it. I'm not familiar with it. I'm really not a watch expert, guys. I've owned a lot of Rolexes over the years, and I'm a wearer and user of watches. So from that standpoint, I think I can bring some valuable insight when it comes to use, daily use. But, wow, that's a good-looking watch. Let me pull this one up. I'll show you here in a second. That's a good-looking watch, but I don't like lugs that look like they were kind of stuck on the case. I like lugs that flow out of the case nice and smoothly, like the gold stunner I have. I'll show you that in a second. But let me see. See this one here. No, even that one, it almost looks like the lugs. See how there's a seam there? It almost looks like the lugs are like stuck on. That's a thing that I just have it bugs me. Let's look at this one. No, there's still seams there. Let me see if there's any that flow. The heck is that? Oh, that's a Seiko. Yeah, how'd that get in there? See how the lugs flow into the case more? That's kind of nice. And see if we cut back to the gold stunner. Of course, the whole table's shaking. But you see how the lugs, I'm going to wait till the table settles down. See how the lugs just flow right nicely from the case and then right down to the strap. I just think that that's much more attractive. What do you all think? What do you all think about that? Am I full of it on that? You know, on the lug thing? Am I stupid? Let me know. Let me know if I'm stupid. I can take it. My gosh, people called me a pedophile, for God's sakes. Like, I think I can take you guys calling me stupid. I've also had some smoking hot, really beautiful girlfriends over the years. So I guess that makes me a bad guy too. I'm talking, some of them have been smoking hot. Damn. That's a show for another day. I think the best name for your diver is Grand Seiko Shogun. It kind of is. It's kind of like a upgrade to it's a Shogun on steroids. It really is. I mean, that's why I bought it, really. Was I loved the Shogun. I loved everything about the Shogun, but the accuracy wasn't there. And the finishing and all that wasn't quite where it needed to be. This took all that to the next level. It took everything to the next level. It took everything about the Shogun and took it up a notch or two. Even the shape of the lugs and the shape of the case is refined and much more beautiful on this. The nice flow to the case. They just took it right up to the top. And I don't understand people complaining about this bracelet. It is super comfortable, and it's very sturdy. I don't think it's going to break anytime soon. I don't understand and even the clasp, which my initial impression, I didn't like the clasp. That I've gotten totally used to, and I love it. I love the functionality. It's like right now, I'll just demonstrate. All I have to do is lift the lock clasp up. See, and I just pulled it back a little bit. And this came out a scotch, just a little bit, and then it's on a ratchet. If I want to push it in one click, I can push it in one click. I just did, and so that's a little bit looser than normal, right? And then if I want to push it in the rest of the way, it's like a one-way ratchet. I go ahead and I just pushed it in. But see, if I pull it this way, it won't come out unless I lift the clasp up, the flip lock. If I lift that up, then that'll release it and let it out some. So it really is a nice, useful design, a very useful element. And then, of course, it has the four macro adjustments, which is a big plus, too. It's got both of those. Put my Tudor Black Bay on eBay. Well, there you go. Get rid of the Tudors. I'd buy one in an instant. You'd buy one what in an instant? I sold my Rolex for a Vega recently as well. Okay. Would be great when the 9F GMT quartz movement is used for more designs. They might do that. The problem is a lot of people still don't like a quartz period, even if it's the 9F, which is arguably the best in the world. Like I said, there's one that's supposed to be more accurate, but the 9F has other advantages over that citizen movement. So I think we can safely say it's the best in the world. But there are a lot of people that just would never buy it no matter what. And so that's why I think it'll be kind of limited what they're going to release. Let's see here. Actually, my chrono. Wait. Okay. Actually, my only chrono. Okay. Yes, Explorer 1 is a keeper for me. I would like to add 1 or 2 more luxury watches for rotation. All right. So if you've got the Explorer 1, which is a great all-around sport watch, the only thing I would add is I would add a gold stunner. I wouldn't add another steel watch. Not enough difference there. I wouldn't go for that GMT. I wouldn't go for any steel or titanium watch for that matter. I would go for a gold stunner. Now, depending on what you want to spend, the low end would be something like a Oyster Perpetual on a leather strap, 18 karat gold. You could probably pick up for what, $6,000? I'd get a gold stunner. Craig, sell your house and buy a Patek 5959. Okay, let's see what the Patek 5959 is. Let's see if I should do that. I'll call the realtor up. Which house should I sell? Okay, let's pull this up here. 5959. Okay, so this is it here. I don't really like that watch. There's a lot of Pateks that I'd rather have than that watch. All right, let me find a Patek that I would want. Let me find one that I would want. Patek. I'm searching Patek Calatrava, and I'm going to find one that I would want. And I'm going to go to large. Okay. All right, let's share the screen here. Let's find a Calatrava that I would want. I'd probably want one without the date. This thing here would be pretty interesting. That would be pretty interesting, I think. Let's see what else. If there's one with the shoulders on the crown. Not getting a very good selection here, folks. Where's one with the shoulders? There's one, but I guess it's in platinum or white gold. Is that from... See, I like that, but I don't really want the date. I don't really want the date because every time I wear it, I'd have to set the damn date because it wouldn't be an all-the-time watch. So if it sets down for 2 days or something, then the date's out of sync, then I got to mess with the date. So I really wouldn't want a date, and I probably wouldn't want auto wind. Anyway, I think I'm going to skip the whole concept of a Patek. I don't think I need one. I think this stunner right here is doing the job for me. And I think it's every bit as gorgeous on wrist as a Calatrava. And it runs all the time. It never stops. So I don't have to worry about manual wind, automatic wind, any of that crap. It just runs. And I don't have to worry about date. I don't have to worry about a month with less than 31 days because there's no date to calibrate. So the only time I have to mess with this watch is twice a year during daylight savings time. That's a real benefit, if you ask me. You know, this channel is all about what makes sense, what's practical. And I know people say, well, you know, luxury watches, that's not practical. But luxury can also be practical. I think luxury should be practical. I think luxury should not be a chore. It should not be difficult. It should not be a challenge. It should be luxurious. Okay. I'm more of a dive watch. Okay. No, Craig, I agree with you, the lug thing. I like a curving watch. You are not a bad-looking guy, Craig. Don't feed those trolls. I'm past my prime. Liquid smoke. I mean, you know, my glory days are behind me. Trust me. When you hit 60, trust me, it's all downhill. It's all downhill from there, liquid smoke. So that's the way it is. No, I agree with you. I don't like the lugs looking like they were glued on. Yeah, and so many watches do that. I don't understand what the deal is with that. I don't understand what they're trying to achieve with that. Craig, check out the new Grand Seiko GMT with the dark reddish purple dial. Saw it at the AD today. Very nice watch. I'm convinced GS has Rolex beat on steel watches. I think the quality is better, if that's what you mean by beat. I think that I don't think it's even a close call. And when it comes to value, it's not even a close call because you can get a discount on the GS. Can't even hardly buy the Rolex unless you go pay over. A pedo is someone that actually goes around chasing 16-year-olds hoping to get something. You're not a pedophile, far from it. It's normal to be attracted to a female no matter how old you are. Well, I think if you're attracted to young, very young females, I think that is very questionable. But I think that photographs, you know, when you're a professional photographer, I like to photograph anything that's attractive. I was photographing some dogs today. I did a video for a client. It won't be up until probably early next week. I got to put it up on YouTube, private link, and they got to proof it and all that. And then once it's all approved, then I'll put it up public on YouTube and on the Facebook, assuming they like the video. I always keep my fingers crossed that they'll like it. I hate to go and have to reshoot and all that crap. But anyway, I was at a high-end luxury pet resort called the Greenbrier here in Frederick County. And I shot some great photos of some dogs. Really nice photos. And so I'll photograph anything that's attractive if I can think I can get a good photo and it can help tell whatever story it is that I'm trying to tell. And so, and the problem with women is many times when I'm out covering events and all that, it's the younger females that want to be photographed. They're attractive and they know it and they want to be in the photos. And a lot of times the older women shy away and don't want to be in the photos. And so as a consequence, you end up with a lot of photos with relatively young people in them many times. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way of the world. but yeah, I think if you're attracted to an abnormally young woman, then I think that is a little bit dicey, for sure. But to see the beauty and anyone of any age, I don't care if it's a little boy, a little girl, or whatever it is. I mean, if they're attractive and they would make a good photo, and you can get a good photo of them, assuming that they're good with it and their parents are good with it and all that, and you're including them in coverage of an event or something like that, I think that that's all very appropriate. And the Frederick News Post, what's ironic is they do the exact same thing that I did. They take photos all the time of cheerleaders at high school football games and the players at the game and all kinds of things. You know, it's just normal. It's a normal thing. But what they tried to do was twist it all around and make it look bad and tried to do a little hatchet job on Craig. But guess what? 8 years later, Craig is still here and Frederick.com is still here and we ain't going anywhere. But yet they had to sell out for pennies on the dollar. They basically went belly up. The Randall family, who owned it for 150 years, they had to sell out. And they had said years ago, they said that they'd never sell out. You know, they literally owned the paper for 150 years, right? They said they'd never sell out. Well, never came. They sold out. Little old Craig ran their sorry asses right out of business. Can't happen to a nastier bunch of people either. Okay, let's get back to the comments. Okay. Watch has the stuck on lug syndrome. Once you pointed out that lug thing out, I'm so with you on it for a dress watch. Well, you know, even a Rolex. See, that's the reason why I said the older Rolexes, like the pre-ceramic GMTs and the subs and all that, if you look at the case design and the lugs and the way it comes down to the bracelet and all that, and all the way that all fits together, they just look a lot better. They look a lot better than this chunky, whatever they call the maxi case crap that they've got now. It looks a lot better. And like this watch here, I'll give you the side view. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see how the lugs just kind of shape down towards the bracelet and kind of curve to the bracelet, even though it's got some bulk to it, right? Because it's clearly a sport watch. But you see how it sits on the wrist and how it kind of follows the contour of the wrist and meets with the bracelet. You see that? I don't know if I'm showing it good enough, but you compare that to the Rolex. And the Rolex is real chunky and real squared off and all that. I don't think that's attractive. I don't think that's a benefit. I don't get it. I really don't. How'd your shoots go today? I think it went well. And I'll tell you, here's the thing when you're dealing with small businesses, business owners, and this particular business today, the Greenbrier Pet Resort, it's a bigger place and it's owned by a conglomerate and all that. And so they've got layers of bureaucracy you got to deal with. And, you know, I can suggest what they should do for the video to really tell the story of the business. I call these videos I do business story videos. And I can make suggestions of, hey, this is what we really should do. It'll really show this place off. But ultimately, it's their call. And so today, what they decided to do was they just had the girl that handles their marketing, she just dictated basically a voiceover of, you know, telling the short little elevator pitch of the place. And then we went around and shot a bunch of B-roll clips, you know, kind of illustrating all those things. And I'm kind of putting it together. And I took some music and put some music in the background. And so I put it together and we'll let them look at it and see what they think. I think it's going to be good enough, but it's not really what I would have done if it were my place. But you can't always force them to do what you think they should do. So that's the way it works. It's kind of tricky working with these people sometimes because, sometimes they tie your hands behind your back a little bit. They make it hard sometimes. Okay, so let's see. People do not like the GS Diver clasp because it looks too thick. It does look thick, but I've gotten totally used to it. It doesn't bother me one bit, and it doesn't get like caught on anything. It doesn't hang up. It doesn't, I thought it would be more of a problem than it is as far as functionality, bumping on things and stuff like that. But it's been a totally non-issue, and the functionality definitely trumps any like bulbousness or obtrusiveness that it might have. It's a non-issue. So I would not change it. I'll put it that way. I wouldn't change it with a different clasp. I converted my coworker from IWC to GS today. Oh, that's a good move, IWC. Get out of that. Your channel is one of the best. Time for fun. There you go. What do you have against IWC? Odd to give Omega a chance, but not them. Is it because Little Treasury doesn't stock them? I don't know if Little Treasury, if he has IWC or not. I'll have to check next time I'm there. He has a lot of watches. No, the reason I'm taking another look at Omega is I did own an Omega. I had a Seamaster 120, and there were some things I liked about it, and there were some things I didn't like about it. And from what I understand, they've upped their game since when I had mine. So I'm simply taking another look at a watch that I already owned in the past, and I think Omega is a good name. My uncle had one back in the day, back in the 60s. He had one. It was all gold. It was kind of cool. So I'm still not giving them my seal of approval yet. I'm saying I'm going to take a look. Sell the Maryland house, of course. You'll be a snowbird. Which Maryland house? I have 2 houses here in Maryland. Let's see. You'll be a snowbird in Florida. I'd be full-time in Florida if I sold both the houses here in Maryland. I think mid to late 00 IWC are nice. Pilot Chrono is a good watch. See, here's the thing with IWC is it's one of these watch brands that you really have to be a watch person to even know about it. Whereas Omega, more people kind of know about that, and it's more mainstream. And I just like, now with the exception of the Grand Seiko, I like to buy a mainstream. Like I would rather buy Rolex, tell you the truth, than IWC or Omega. I would just buy the Rolex. Period. Done. Full stop. Very safe play. Very conservative, very safe play, especially if you bought like a Datejust 36 mil, right? You can't go wrong any way, shape, or form with that if that's like your only watch. Now, if I want to go something, if I want to step away from the crowd a little bit and take a little bit of a risk, right? Now we're talking Grand Seiko. We're talking something, out of the ordinary, something really, really special, in my opinion. And so that's where these come in, is where you want to, go to a different drum, right? Change things up a little bit. That's an ugly watch. So you're talking about this watch is ugly? Man, it looks damn good to me. I dress smart casual, polos and chinos mostly. That's good. Good move. Is a gold stunner too much? I rarely wear suits. How about something like a... Okay. I dressed like that a lot, and I wore the Date 8, and I was very comfortable dressing like that. Let me check the 238, and then I'll show you an example of dressing like that. Give me a second here. Okay, the 238's the steel and gold. yeah, that'd be a beautiful watch to wear the way you're talking. But let me show you a day date, wearing a day date that way, and we'll see what we're talking about here. Give me a second here. I'll pull this up. At least I'll try to. Come on. Flickr always wants to go slow when I'm multitasking here. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So there's me standing with a polo shirt on and wearing a gold day date. And it looks fine. It looks fine. Let me go back to the search and see if there's any other examples. Now here I am with a rolled up sleeve, right? And just wearing a safari shirt, Egyptian cotton safari shirt, with a hat that happens to be kangaroo. And again, wearing a day date. Let's see if there's any other examples. Here I am at some event at the Polo Club, actually, as a matter of fact. And that's a safari jacket I have on with the sleeves rolled up. You can see on that side they're rolled up. And it's over top of a red polo shirt. And there's the watch in the foreground. You can barely see it out of focus there. And there's, of course, I'm wearing Ray-Bans. And so that's a polo shirt type of setup. Let's see what else we got here. Now here, I'm wearing a Madras jacket over top of a polo shirt. Again, we're at the Polo Club watching a polo match, and we're having a tailgate picnic. There's the limousine driver there. And so that you can barely see, that's a gold Rolex with a conventional class bracelet. Okay? So let's see if there's any others here. Oh, here I am. This is a polo shirt with NBC 7 shirt. And that's a gold day date on the wrist right there. And here, again, I've got my sleeves rolled up. I got a button-down shirt and khakis, chinos, whatever you would want to call them. And again, a gold day date. So, I mean, that's a bunch of examples there. I think it looks fine. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. I think it looks fine. Paddock, 5196. I'll have to take a look at that. Let's pull that up. I'll pull that up in a second and we get these other comments. I would love to see your gold watch with the 18-karat gold bracelet instead of the alligator. Here's the thing. The benefit to this watch is it's 10 millimeters thick. All right, 10 millimeters thick. And that strap is also very trim on the wrist. And the clasp, believe it or not, it sits very flat on the wrist. It's very trim. So it makes it a pleasure to slide underneath that dress cuff. The day date, on the other hand, it would do it, but it was always a little bit clunky. I mean, it will work. Don't get me wrong, it will work. But you notice most of the time I rolled my sleeves up. That tells you something. So that's the downside to having a watch that's a little bit thicker and a little bit bulkier, is you do get the problems when you're getting it underneath that shirt. I find that I wear my SBGV238 far more than I would have predicted. It's quite versatile. Well, there you go. All downhill from 60, huh? Tell that to Mick Jagger. Hey, I saw a poster. They're coming to entertain here in town, and I saw a poster of all of them together. He's looking kind of tattered. He's not, oh, he has that in his song, right? Tattered. He's looking like he's seen better days too. I think we've all seen better days. Oh well, that's how it goes. How'd your shoots go today? I think it went well. We're going to see once they proof the video. I'll probably know early next week. I got to put it up and they got to look at it. But I think it went well. And we'll see if the client likes it. That's what matters. White gold Rolex Day Date. See, I had one and I sold it. I would go yellow gold. Absolutely, I would go yellow gold. It's not too flashy. The Day Date, there's something just classy about it. Yes, it's got a certain amount of flash and pizzazz, but it's so classy. It's eat completely up with class. There's just something about it. I would love a Day Date out of my budget, probably. Okay. It's not Craig's fault, you mokes. Beautiful people want to be seen. I'm not sure what you mean by that. There's nothing about taking photos of attractive little boys. Yeah, in the article, it doesn't say anything about that. Well, they're not going to say, first of all, when they did that hatchet job, if you read the article, they were very careful about how they phrased and how they said things. They wanted to paint a picture that looked as bad as possible for me, but without saying something that they could really be nailed on. So they were kind of careful about what they said. And they really didn't say much of anything in the whole article. There weren't any facts in there, right? Like they didn't have any particular photo that was inappropriate or anything. They had nothing, right? And they had supposedly some parents that had complained. There were no parents that complained. I never heard from anybody. Nobody contacted me and complained about anything. Nobody asked me to take down any photos. Nothing. The school didn't contact me and ask me any questions. They alleged that there was some kind of an investigation. If there was, they never called me, and I'm very easy to get in touch with. Okay? I'm the easiest guy in the world to get in touch with. And so it was all total bullshit. The whole article was total bullshit. And but they did a good job of trying to paint me out to be a nasty, nasty character. And it did cost me some money. It cost me some sponsors. I mean, it wasn't good, but I lived through it. And most of the sponsors saw it for what it was. I lost very few sponsors. But it's nasty, and they've left the article up. They haven't taken it down. They could take it down, but they've left it up. And they're nasty screwballs. But, hey, you roll with the punches. You do what you do. And that's what it is. Let's see here. Let's see. Is the Greenbrier an authorized tutor dealer? No, it's a dog. It's a kennel and a pet hotel and all that kind of good stuff. Wait, did they actually accuse you of being a pedophile? That's messed up. No, they didn't. They didn't use that word. If you read the article, they were very careful what they said. You can Google it. Google my name, Craig Shipp, and put Craig Shipp space cheerleaders or whatever. It'll come up. You'll find the article. It's Frederick News Post. It's a competitor of mine. Read the article. It speaks for itself. You can tell that it's a hatchet job if you read the article. And you can tell what they were trying to do. But no, they didn't use that word. They were careful. They didn't go so far that I could sue them. They just went far enough to try to tar me, right? To try to tarnish my reputation. They did it. It was their last gasp at trying to put me out of business. They'd been trying to do it for 10 years, even before that. They had a website called digitalfrederick.com that was a direct competitor to me. I had Frederick.com. They had digitalfrederick.com. And they were trying to do exactly what I was doing. They had a business directory, so on and so forth. They were trying to do what I was doing, and they competed with me for 2 years, head up. And they had big full-page ads in their newspaper. They were running radio ads. They were doing everything they could to run me out of business. That didn't work. They ended up shutting that website down after about 2 years. Then they did other things to try to run me out of business. Their last-ditch effort was this Hatchet Job article that they did like 7 or 8 years ago. That was their last dying gasp to try to run me out of business, and then they ended up going out of business. So they ended up selling out for pennies on the dollar to an organization down in Virginia, and they're under all new ownership now. Then really what the people were buying was their press. They had a state-of-the-art press here in Frederick that they spent like $4 million on, and a lot more than that on the building, but just the press I think was like $4 million. And they basically were buying this company that bought them, because they own other newspapers, and they can use that to print their other newspapers. And so they bought that whole operation for pennies on the dollar. Okay, so what did they, okay. Green Barn authorized tutor deal, we talked about that. That's why I bought the Air King, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What would you say to Steve if he became a tutor AD? I'd say, get rid of those tutors. I tell him the same thing I tell everybody. Get rid of them. Real photography is about finding beauty in everything. I love photography, and I love to capture moments and to preserve things. Like I've done a lot of parades. I've done like Civil War reenactments. I've done a lot of things where I've tried to preserve moments and events and lifestyles and things like that. And I enjoy it. I've got many thousands of photos on my Flickr stream. Very diverse. But one thing that is certain, is every single photo I have is family friendly. Every single one. There are none that are even close to not being family friendly, unless you believe that girls should be in burqas at all times. Because I do have a lot of pictures down in Sarasota of girls on the beach playing volleyball, whatever, at the drum circle, hula hooping, all that stuff. But they're all basically G-rated photos. But they are extremely attractive females, in many cases, in bikinis. So if people have something against bikinis or against extremely attractive females, then yes, they would find my photos to be inappropriate. Okay, so there's that. Should I buy the Seiko SKX009 or Seiko SKX007? You really want to make me look at both of those watches? It doesn't make any difference. Buy the one you like. Buy the one that looks good to you. I wouldn't buy either one. I'd save a little more money, and I'd buy the SBDC 007. I'd buy the Shogun, is what I would buy if it were my money. You're going to have to save some extra money, but that's what I would do. Do you do pro bono work as well, like with Hoffman's Market? Hoffman's Market did pay me. They're a paying sponsor of Frederick.com. I did give them a good deal because they're here in Thurmont, in my hometown here, and I gave them a good deal, but they are paying customers. The way my system works on Frederick.com is they're what I call sponsors. They pay an annual fee to sponsor the website. And one of the things that's included in that fee, if they want it, it's optional for them, is what I call my business story video. So I basically include that in their annual fee. And what's nice about this arrangement is they pay the annual fee every year. So you build up that residual income. The whole key is residual income. You don't get wealthy making money off each task you do. If you go and you do a task, let's say you're a plumber and you fix somebody's faucet, you get a certain amount of money for that job, right? That's a one-time thing. That's good. It's better if that person pays you every month or every year and they keep paying you over and over and over again. That's better. So mine is a subscription model where they pay an annual fee and they get a whole bunch of benefits. They get listed in the business directory. They get access to the Frederick County Facebook page. They get access to the Frederick County Twitter. See, I have at Frederick County on Twitter. I have at Frederick County on Facebook. See, I got in all these things early, so I got all the great usernames. And that's why the Frederick News Post hated me. Like the Dickens, they hated me because I owned Frederick.com. And they thought this was their community. They'd been here for 150 freaking years. They thought Frederick was their territory. And I came in and kicked their ass all up one side and down the other and ran them out of freaking business. And they didn't like that much after being here 150 years. But they're a bunch of nasty, people, so there's that. Okay. Does doing away with the maxi case have anything to do with the lack of steel sport watches? Like they scrapped all the maxi cases. They're not doing away with the maxi case, are they? Are we breaking news here? Are they going back to the old style? If they went back to the old style case, I might even buy one. I'd be tempted to buy one. Where are the trolls today? I don't know. Maybe they've been executed. What happened to the trolls? SKX009 is a nice watch. I think it is. I think that's a nice watch, but I would just save up for the Shogun myself. What are your thoughts on two-tone steel and wood stunners? My friend bought one. Yeah, I've seen some of those wooden watches. No, I think I would skip that. Why no suit today? Okay, here's the deal. I got home from the video shoot. I was hungry as the dickens. I had not had lunch. The shoot went longer than it was supposed to go. I had to stop at Costco and buy supplies because I was pretty much out of everything. So I stopped at Costco, which on a late Friday afternoon is not a good move anyway. So I bought a bunch of stuff at Costco. Came back here, unloaded all the stuff. I was hungry as could be. So I changed into my comfortable around-the-house clothes, and I made something to eat. And I ate, and I wasn't going to do a broadcast at all, to be honest with you. I wasn't going to do one today, period. But I got the message on Facebook about these assholes, making all these comments about me. And I figured I'd go on live and I'd talk about it. I'm not going to dodge these people. I'm not going to dodge these nasty people. Just like I don't dodge the Frederick News Post. They're a bunch of nasty people. Okay? And here's the ironic thing about it. I offered to work with them when I came up here in the year 1999 to work on this website. I moved up from Bethesda to come up here and do this website. And I offered to work with them, and they said, well, the internet's not important. We don't have to do anything with that. I talked to the people at the Chamber of Commerce. I was willing to work with them. I was willing to profit share with them. No, the internet, that's not important. Nobody thought the internet was important. Then 10 years later or whatever, all of a sudden they thought it was all important. Right? The SOBs. Well, they can kiss me where I sit. You know what I'm saying? So there's the deal on that. By the Samurai. I like the Shogun. Okay. Patek is too expensive. You can buy a really nice Rolex Day-Date with a President bracelet for less than $12,000. Absolutely. But be careful. Make sure you get a good one. I live near Thurmont. Excellent. Do you ever get the sub sandwiches at the Hoffman's Market? I get the roast beef sub there. Craig, your subscription-based business is genius. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's nice. It's nice to have consistent income. Okay. And it makes it more affordable to them, if they pay like that. I own the Samurai and the XKX009 at once, and I didn't like the Samurai. The Samurai was too big, clunky, and uncomfortable on my 6.75-inch wrist. It doesn't look good on most straps. See, Brian, I think you would find the Shogun would be comfortable on your wrist. And it does look good on a leather strap or on other straps. And it's so lightweight because of the titanium. It's super comfortable. And it's thinner than this watch, by the way. It's thinner than this watch. But because of the shape of the lugs and all this, I mean, this is acceptable. This is 14 mil thick. I would not want it any thicker. I'll put it that way. It's kind of at the limit. I wouldn't have bought it if it was 15 mils thick. I'll put it that way. But it works because of the way the back is cupped and everything. This size works, but I would not want it any bigger. But it is extremely comfortable because of the titanium. I don't think... wait a second here. I don't think they're getting rid of the maxi case. It's pretty popular. Yes, some people like it, but there are a lot of people don't like it. But a lot of people have, held their nose and said, "Oh, I like it," Did you send an order 66 on the trolls? What's an order 66? From Austin, I like the size very much. The thinness works beautifully. The thinness of which watch are we talking about here? I'll have to try one. Great looking watch. What did you have to eat, Craig? It's not that exciting. I had some rice. I have a real nice rice cooker from Japan. Jaworski or whatever the heck it is. Anyway, I've had it for like 30 freaking years. It's fantastic. It works great. I don't use it that often, but I did cook some rice the other day, and I always cook extra. When I cook a batch of rice, I cook extra, and I put it in the refrigerator, what's left over. So all I did was I took a large tomato, and I cut it up in the bottom of a bowl. Cut it up as a blood red tomato. And matter of fact, I got it at Hoffman's Market. And then I put some rice on top of that. And then I put some chicken on top of that. And a little bit of leftover chicken soup. I poured some of that on there to have the broth. And I heated it up in the microwave. And then once it was good and hot, I took a half an avocado and I sliced the half an avocado all over the top. And sprinkled some hemp seeds on top. And that was my dinner, believe it or not. That was my dinner, and it was actually pretty good, but it was quick and easy to make, and I was hungry because, I hadn't eaten, and the video shoot went longer than I thought. I hadn't had lunch. It was like 5 o'clock when I got back here, or 5:30, and so there's that. What a-holes badmouth you on Facebook? Did something happen today? Some trolls brought up an old article. We already talked about it. Some trolls brought up an old article from a competitor of mine, the Frederick News Post, a hatchet job article that they did on me 7 or 8 years ago. Some trolls brought that up and have been spreading it around in some of the discussions. So there's that, and we talked about that. You can go back and rewatch the beginning of this thing. Okay, I'll have to try one. Great look. Okay, right. I've read that. I've never had the subs at the Hoffman's Market, but I'll check them out. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's good. I eat the roast beef sub, and I usually don't like roast beef subs because usually you bite into them, and then the roast beef, there's stringy, bristle between it, and you're trying to, this is it melts in your mouth. It just comes apart. He roasts it himself, and it's really fantastic. If you don't like roast beef subs for some reason, they have a great cold cut sub also, and then they have some great sandwiches too. It really is good. It's really worth it to stop at Hoffman's Market and get a little something for you. I eat there about once a week. I'll stop there and get something on my way home. I usually get the full-size roast beef sub, and then I'll eat half, and then an hour later or whatever, I'll eat the other half. It's really good. Samurais are dangerous. They have swords. Okay. Get a Rolex, Patek Philippe 5196. Okay. Let me search the 5196. I meant to do that earlier. I'm sorry. My bad. Let me search that one. Search it up here. Okay, Patek Philippe 5196. Let me go to large images so that I can oh shoot, images. Okay, here we go. Go to large. Give me a second here. All right. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Let me share the screen. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, but we already looked at one similar to that earlier. It's very nice. Do they make the one with the shoulders on the crown? Do they make that with no date and manual wind? Because that would be my ideal watch if they make that. I don't know if they make it that way or not. But yeah, this is a beautiful watch. Absolutely. Look at the way the case flows and all that. I don't need that seam there. That could just flow right on through. But yeah, you can't really. You'd have to be picking that apart to find fault with it. That really is an ideal, absolutely stunning dress watch. Now, the downside is you have to wind it. You have to get it started. You know, when you're putting it on, if you're not wearing it all the time, you've got to wind it up and set the time. And to me, that's a hassle. I really like this stunner here because I can just put it on my wrist and go. And half the time I'm in a hurry getting out the door because I'm getting ready to get out the door. I've got an appointment, and then somebody calls. Invariably, somebody calls. And then I'm trying to talk on the phone. I'm trying to half hold the phone and half get ready to go and get my jacket on and so on. I'm fumbling around. And, you know, I end up behind schedule or whatever. And so I'm in a hurry. So I don't have time to sit there and set the freaking watch. Are you kidding me? I'm going to have to set the damn watch and wind it and stuff? I mean, I don't know. I don't know about all that. I saw Susie Orman today at Costco in Florida. Okay, I'm not sure who that is, but that sounds like it was probably a good idea. All right, hold on a second here. Rice is hard to make well, not gummy. You rinse it real well. Rinse it real well. That helps with the gumminess. Hemp is the devil's lettuce. I was told that hemp seeds are really good for you. I sprinkle them on some things. I don't know if they really are, if that's just a wives' tale, but I was told they're very nutritious. I do eat a lot of walnuts. I eat almond milk that I make myself with the almonds and with dates and with a little bit of vanilla flavoring, and it's fantastic, and I understand that's good for you. So I try to eat healthy as best I can. Craig, what do you do for a living? Seems you're having some MUS time? I'm not sure what that means. Are you asking me what I do for a living? It'd be best probably just go to my website, CraigShipp.com, and try to figure it out. I have a number of revenue streams, not the least of which is Frederick.com. Frederick.com, Frederick.com. You are a nice guy, Craig. I do not know why they did this, nasty people. Why they did this? You mean why the Frederick News Post did the hatchet job article on me? Is that what you're talking about? They did it because they were trying to put me out of business. It's very not hard to figure out. I own Frederick.com. I own FrederickNews.com. They own the Frederick newspaper. And their website is fredericknewspost.com. fredericknewspost.com, right? I own Frederick.com. They don't like that. Everything in this area is called Frederick. The city is the city of Frederick. The county is Frederick County. It's the biggest county in the state of Maryland. It's 35 miles long. It's a big deal. And I own Frederick.com. Okay? They didn't like that. That's not hard to figure out. Right? Awesome. I just looked up the location of Hoffman's. I know where they are. I will try those roast beef subs. Cool. Report back. Give me your full report after you try one. I'm telling you, you'll be like, oh my God. Men's oyster perpetual in steel with smooth bezel on a steel bracelet with silver stick dial. Used silver. This would be a good watch for me to start my Rolex. Yeah. Hell yeah. But you don't need a Rolex collection. Come on, just get a really good stunner and wear it and enjoy it, and then take the other money and invest it. And then at some point get a gold stunner with your income. Here's the key. Create the goose that's laying the golden eggs. Create the goose, whether that be an income stream from something, whether that be investments that produce an income stream. Create the golden goose somehow, some way. And then don't kill the goose. Let it keep laying eggs and get your rewards, right? But don't kill the goose. Okay? That's what you do. Check out the 5220J. Okay, I will check that out. I will check it out. How come it's not coming up? Are you sure that's the correct number? Let me try again. That's not coming up for me. 5220J. So I don't know if that model number is correct or not. Okay, what do we got here? Wait a second now. The damn thing jumped again on me. Give me a second here, for gosh sakes. Eric's back in the house. It's always good to see Eric. Joining late, Craig, have you ever had a high-end watch with a rubber strap? I know you love your gold stunner, but I'm curious if you ever owned a high-end watch, high-end with rubber strap. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so. I always liked having bracelets. I always wore Rolexes on bracelets. A friend of mine had a Datejust, a steel and gold Datejust, and he wore it on a leather band that was lizard, because his wrists were so freaking huge. He's a big guy. His wrists are so huge, he would have to buy so many links, he'd have gone broke because it was a steel and gold watch. So he put it on a leather strap, and it actually looked okay. It was a 36 mil, and it looked okay even on his huge wrist. Let me see if I can find a picture of him wearing that. Give me a second. I'll see if I can pull that up, because it's funny. He's a big dude, I'm telling you. And funny thing, he lives here in Thurmont. Yeah, here it is. Here's the picture. Okay. And there he is. That picture was probably taken in 1980. And he's wearing a Datejust, steel and gold Datejust, on a lizard bracelet. And you can't tell how big he is in this picture. But he's about 6'2", and probably 230, 240 pounds. And his hands, I mean, if he got a hold of you, well, look how small that sandwich looks in his hand. It makes that sandwich look like it's a mini sandwich, and that was not a mini sandwich. That was a big sandwich in his hand. He's not a small character. And he's wearing a 36 mil date just in that picture, which I sold to him. Okay, let's see here. Craig, my Grand Seiko is going back. I put it on wrist this morning. It's gained 4 seconds today already. That's a shame, Eric. Well, maybe you can get a buy on another one. Are they allowing you to return it? Okay, when there's no pushback. Maybe you can get another chance at one. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. I guess you don't want to take a chance on getting it serviced. Craig, would you be buried with a watch? If so, what? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's better that somebody uses the watch. Time to get a Rolex, Eric. Yeah, get rid of all those tutors, whatever you do. I think it's been cursed because of all those damn tutors laying around. I think that cursed the whole situation. I don't think there's any good to come of having a whole bunch of tutors laying around. GX over Rolex. I've owned more Rolex than I can count. GS is a masterpiece. You're right. You're absolutely right. Love that Patagonia, by the way. I just bought my first one in 20 years, and I'm absolutely loving it. Oh, you mean this, what I'm wearing now, Eric? I hope you got one of the ones made in the USA. This is one of the ones made in the USA back in the day when they were making their name. They're really fantastic. This is the, see the R? I think they call this the regulator. But this is the one that's made in the US. I've got a whole video on these on my channel, on both these and North Face that are made in the USA. And this is another thing that you can find on eBay sometimes in mint condition that somebody bought and hardly used at all, and then just take it and wash it in woolite, okay? Wash it in woolite and then hang it up, and then it's good to freaking go. I've been wearing this thing for years, and I haven't even worn out I usually wear out this part, from setting it down on things. But this thing is held up great, and it's super warm. Super warm, if that's what you were talking about. Okay, I need the Pontiff's opinion on which model to get, SKX009 or... Okay, I will look them up. I'm going to pull them up. Give me a minute here, for gosh sakes, people. If Archie Luxury isn't going to help you out, I'll help you out. Look at the 009 first. We're looking at the 009 first. All right. Here's one on a bracelet. Okay, I guess that's the 009. Okay, I've got no issues with that at all. I would probably buy it on a strap and then get a strap code aftermarket bracelet for it is probably the way I would go. But let's go back and let's check the next one. Oh, get this damn... hate those damn pop-ups and all this crap. Okay. Let's go back to 007 next. Okay. This is a good question. I have to honestly say I like both watches. I mean, I really think my earlier statement, which is which one do you like, is appropriate. But if I had to pick between the two, I like the hands on this watch. I like the dial on this watch. I would probably go with this watch right here. And I'd probably buy it on a rubber strap if you save money. And then I'd probably get an aftermarket strap code bracelet. Let me know what you think about that, people in the chat. Super fast to start your watch collection. Would you take the Grand Seiko over Rolex? First of all, I don't recommend you having a collection. Okay, that's number one. I'll switch back to here. But yes, I think that you can do a lot worse than getting a Grand Seiko. And if you are very careful and you get the right Grand Seiko, measure 7 times and cut once, get the right one for you that you really, really like, and examine everything about it. Make sure it's really what you like, the bracelet, everything. One of the reasons why I got rid of the snowflake is I didn't like the fact that it did not have micro adjustments on the bracelet. I'm spoiled by this one having micro adjustments. In the 2 times a year, in the spring and in the fall, I need to adjust my bracelet. Okay? And it's so nice to have those micro adjustments. It makes it so quick and easy to adjust. Even the day date was a little bit of a hassle, even though it had the screws and I could unscrew the screw, the little tiny screw, and I could take a link out and put a link back in. It was a little bit of a hassle. I liked the day date I had that had the conventional clasp but had the micro adjustments. If they offered a day date today with the conventional clasp and the micro adjustments, I would probably get that over the hidden clasp bracelet, even as gorgeous as the hidden clasp bracelet is. That's how much I like micro adjustments, okay? So I'm just giving you an example. You want to look at every little detail of the watch and make sure that there's nothing there that's just going to bug you, okay? All right, let me read I got to get caught up on these comments, folks. There's a bunch of comments in here. Oh, shoot. Where am I? All right, here we go. Super fast. Okay, all right, we talked about that one. Logan M. Wrong channel. The Pontiff already did his live stream. Get both the SKX if you want them. They're both cheap. No, don't get both. I just did a silly thing by winding my vintage Rolex anti-clockwise to adjust the calendar. Now it stopped ticking. Uh-oh. I don't think you... Wait, you should be able to wind a Rolex both ways. You should be able to go back and forth when you're winding it. You don't have to wind one direction. I always went back and forth sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Craig, what about Fredericks of Hollywood? I don't know. I don't think I would buy anything from them. If that's what you're asking. Clive explained in a live chat that the wider lugs on maxi case spoil the rectangular looks of the Rolex steel watches and give them a square appearance that less people like. I don't like it. I think it clearly is ugly. I think they screwed the pooch. I think they took a beautiful design and screwed it up. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Holly, no. In order for one to truly appreciate GS, one must own a few other Swiss watches to truly understand what GS has to offer. I don't know about that. My gosh, you get the right GS. Like I say, selection is important. You get the right one, and I think you're going to be blown away. I think you're going to be like, oh my God, this watch is so freaking cool. Now, let me tell you something. If this watch fails me, if this watch gives trouble, like Eric had problems with his, if I have one problem, that's it. This watch is gone, and I will never revisit Grand Seiko again. That would be the kiss of freaking death. If I have a problem with a brand, if it disappoints me and I've got somewhere else to go, for example, Rolex or Omega or somewhere, I'm going to go hard as I can go. I'm not forgiving, okay? I want bulletproof reliability out of my watches. I expect that. And I will have it. So that's the deal on that. My two Hublots are the most comfortable watches I own, and they are both on rubber straps. Okay. I want to get a Hoffman. Oh, I had a GMT Master. Not a GMT Master. I had a Casio that was on a rubber strap. It was okay. I want to get a Hoffman's roast beef stunner. Oh, man, they are good. Tudor does less than nothing for me. Yeah, it's not a way to go. Eric, tell Craig that you return your GS for Tudor just for Craig's reaction. Oh, no. Please don't tell me that. Thank you, Superfast30. Apologies. I'm new to this hobby passion. Okay, there you go. I picked up a SBGH 051. Love the blue dial. I bet you that's a stunner. Craig, between the Explorer 39 and the Oyster Perpetual 39, I'd prefer 39 millimeter as one watch for casual and with suits. Which one would you choose? Explorer 39 and Oyster Perpetual 39. It's a one watch deal. I'd probably get the Oyster Perpetual because it's a little more, it can be a little more formal than the Explorer, depending on the, the dial and the handset and all that you get. I think I would go that way if I was going to go with one wear all the time watch. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that Oyster Perpetual 39 is pretty thin, right? Isn't it only about 12 mils thick or less, or 11 point something? Let me know what the thickness is on the two watches. Compare the thickness on the two watches, because that would also enter into the discussion here. If they're equal on thickness, I would go with the Perpetual 39, I think, for a one watch thing. Patagonia and Argentina and Chile. Yeah, but we're talking about I think he was talking about this Patagonia that I'm wearing. This one was made in the U.S. It's named after that region, right? They named their brand. But they started, I think they were in California when they started the company, and they made really high-end outfitter-type clothing like this I have on. And then, like a lot of these brands, they've cheapened their brand, and they sold out, and now they're made in, like, all over the country. They're made overseas. They're just, just run-of-the-mill. They're not, the quality is not the same. This is like stellar quality compared to the crap that they're selling now. And these things were expensive when they were new. They weren't cheap. Just like North Face is the same way. North Face in the beginning was high-quality stuff. Made in the U.S., it was high quality. Wash it or wash it. I know. Some of us put an R in. I know. That's a thing that some of us do. I'm sorry about that. But there it is. It is what it is. Eric Learning Channel, not giving me a problem on returning it. I'm so disappointed. I love the GS, but it's left a bad taste in my mouth. I hear you, Eric. That's very disappointing. If I had a similar problem, I would be pissed. I would be pissed off. You don't pay that kind of money for a watch and expect to have any kind of problem. I wonder if that person you got it from did something stupid to that watch, and I wonder if that's why they sold it, and they thought they were going to get a sucker. I hate to think the worst of somebody, but, I mean, this is just a bizarre situation, and it's not good, and I'm really sorry to hear that happen, because I can tell from your videos, Eric, that you're a nice guy. You're uninformed on some things, and you need some time to understand some things, like getting rid of tutors, but I can tell you're a nice, solid guy. I'd like to have you as a friend. I mean, I think you're a good guy, and it saddens me that some yamoke sold you a watch that gave you trouble. It really pisses me off. That really pisses me off. Why not to have both Seiko? Okay, buy both. They're good watches. No, don't buy both. No. Buy one and save up for a stunner. I have about $4,000 to spend. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. That's rude. I have about $4,000 to spend for my first quality watch. Thanks, Craig, for reading my entry. Man, you can buy a really nice Grand Seiko used for that kind of money. And I hope you don't have the same kind of experience that Eric had. But you can even buy some new ones in that price range that are stunners. If you go with a 9F quartz, you can get some real stunners, and that's a lifetime watch. I mean, that is no joke. So everything just jumped again. Let me just. Okay, here we go. I would take the 007. Its black color will make it easier to wear with more outfits and more suits than the 009. I kind of agree with that. The movement on the SKX isn't great, but so what? Yeah, that's the issue. And also add an orange dial, SKX019. No, don't buy a whole bunch of those watches. Come on. Come on, folks. Be conservative here. Buy a cashmere sport coat or something and a couple of nice shirts to go with it. You know, have the whole package. You know what I mean? When you roll in thick. When I rolled into my appointment today, I was wearing some expensive stuff, okay? They don't question your credibility when you roll in there. You know, you dress well, you roll in there, they don't question your credibility. Check out Long Island Watch on YouTube. Tons of good videos about entry-level watches. I love this channel. There you go. Pick one watch and make it a good one. GS. There you go. I hear you. That's the thing. If he saves a little bit of money, you can buy some nice GSs on eBay for around $900. We pulled one up the other day. It was like $900. It was a nice looking watch. Of course, that is $900. That's still a lot more than a couple $100, but look what you're getting. For under $400, my favorite watch is the Bull of a Moon watch. My second favorite would be both the SKXs. For $400, you could get both. Don't get both. Come on, just get the one you like. Get the black one and just wear it and enjoy it. You don't need two, for God's sake. Come on, people. Spend the other money on something else. You can get a cashmere sport coat for about $40 or $50 if you really shop smart on eBay. You can get it for less at the thrift stores if you can find one. But on eBay, for sure, you can find one for $40 or $50. That's just a stunner. A stunner. Get yourself a Kenneth Gordon shirt to go with it, and then wear the watch and wear the sport coat and wear some. You can even wear jeans with the sport coat if you get the right sport coat. It looks good. Jeans will look good with it. And you roll in, and people will be like, "Damn." And if it's like a cashmere sport coat, and the women love it. They'll have their hands all over you and stuff. They'll just, like, the first time they touch it, they'll say, "Oh, that's nice. Can I touch it again?" You know. There you go. Then you got it going on. Screwed up design of Rolex sub, so Rolex finally gave up and caved. What does that mean? If you go with the SKX, go to Joma's shop, and they usually have good deals. Okay, all right. Hello, Craig. Nice vids, man. You mean this video? I don't know how nice this video is, but it is what it is. We're just trying to help some people out here. How do you like the 14K Gold Omega Seamaster DeVille circa 1965? I've seen some Omegas, some gold Omegas. I've seen some 18 karat gold ones also that look pretty good. I think it's something to consider. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I think it's definitely something to consider. The problem with one that old is, you could have some servicing issues. You could have some problems getting it to run right. I mean, you could potentially have some issues. But if you could get a good one and have a good watch guy, put it in good shape, I think it'd be kind of cool. Let's see here. Get one with a case design similar to this. Nice flowing, case design, nice and thin, hugs your wrist. Nothing like, extravagant, just a nice flowing design. Because the 18 karat gold says it all. Looks really cold indoors here. It's 62 degrees here where I am inside. Craig, when are we going to see some merchandise? Maybe some bumper stickers for the channel. I have stuff for Frederick.com. I've even got like sweatshirts and stuff, t-shirts and woo, thanks, Mr. Ship. Okay, whatever that is. Okay. Do you use an electric razor or a blade for shaving? Yes, I use blades, and I hate shaving, but I can never get a good shave with an electric, and I use blades. And I use, what's those ones they advertise on the internet a lot? Now I can't remember. Anyway, if I remember, I'll say, but they're good quality blades, and yeah, I shave with those. And then my beard, it grows back pretty fast. I mean, like I shaved at around 11 a.m. this morning or something like that, 10 or 11, and I've already got like a heavy, shadow, 5 o'clock shadow at 10 o'clock. So do you use okay. Hey, Craig, how's it going? It's going okay. Mark from Long Island. You got style, Craig. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Holly Wonger. Wait a second here. This thing jumped again. Okay. Disregard my answer to your question. I accidentally misread your post and thought you said 400, not 4,000. If you have 4,000, get much better watches than I first recommended. Yeah. Don't buy two. For 4,000, he could get a really nice Datejust also. He could get a really nice 36 mil Datejust. Absolutely, he could. He could get like one of the older turnographs also if he wanted something interesting. There's a lot of stuff he can get for $4,000 and negotiate hard. Don't buy 2 or 3 versions of the same damn watch, folks. Unnecessary redundancy. Absolutely don't do that. How are the GSs holding up? Mine are holding up great. Eric had a problem with his. Hardwood is really nice. Uncommon watch. Check the... Yeah, I don't think I'm going that way. I get how good the Snowflake and the GS Diver are, but they're too clunky for Asian wrists. Well, get this stunner right here. Whoops. Get that 18 karat gold stunner. That'll look good on a smaller wrist. 18 karat gold stunner. That one's 35 mil. Some people say it's 35.5 mil. It looks fine on my wrist, and my wrist is 7.25 inches plus. And it looks fine. This big watch craze is just that. It's a craze. You don't need a big watch. I don't mind my sport watch being big, but my all-arounder and my dress watch, it's got to be 36 mil or thereabouts. I don't want anything much bigger than that. What do you think of the SGBX 269 or SBGX 267 in titanium to complement Explorer 1? Okay, let me look. Let me look at that. And then we're going to wrap up here pretty soon. Because we've been going for a while here. Been going for a while. Yes, we have. Okay. SBGX 269. Oh, you mean SBGX? They're saying it should be SBGX. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? Give us that model number again. Let's make sure we got the right model number. For some reason, I'm not getting that model number. Let's check the 267 SBG. They're saying it should be SBGH. They're not wanting to go with that model number. So I don't know why I can't bring that up. Okay. How many Seiko 5S's should a person own? As many as you want. He said, should a person own? So the answer would be 1. Don't buy a whole bunch of watches, folks. Come on, there's other things you can spend your money on. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of watches. Just buy a really good stunner. Get yourself a GS and wear it. What is your opinion on Trump? So far, he's done okay by me. I mean, he's cut taxes and you know, he's done some things to stimulate the economy. He's gotten rid of some regulations and stuff like that. So all my stocks went up since he's been president. So I've done all right by him. I'm for small government, so I'm not for either Republicans or Democrats. I'd like to get rid of all of them if I could. But that's not going to happen, so there's that. Spring Drive, 9F, or High Beat. I would either go with Spring Drive or 9F. I wouldn't do the High Beat thing. Because to me, if I want a manual, a mechanical, I'd go the Spring Drive route. And if I wanted just an insanely durable quartz, I'd go the 9F. And that way I get the thinner watch, the benefits of the thinner watch with the 9F. Dollar Shave Club. No, it wasn't Dollar Shave Club. It was the other one. There's a competitor to them. Oh, what's the name of it? You guys will think of it. Harry's. That's it. Harry's. That's the ones I buy. And they seem to work real well. Harry's razors. I'm on my iPad now and computer looking at what the viewers are talking about. I really appreciate this live chat because I'm a rookie here. Okay. What model is your 18-karat gold stunner? I love it. I want a solid gold watch. Absolutely you want one. What model is it? Let me find the video and I'll put the link in the chat. Give me a minute here. I'll try to find it. By the way, if you search 9F on my channel, you'll find it. Okay, here's a video. Let me get the link here. Let me get the link. Oh, come on. Okay. Copy. See, I'm taking the time to actually get the link for the gentleman, okay? Gold. I'm just going to put gold here and say gold. And there's the link. All right. I put the link in the chat. I'm on an iPad now. Okay, there we go. Okay. I want a solid gold watch. Joma Shop is faking retail price. Okay. No Rolex. Wait a second here. What? It jumped again. Give me a second. I want to catch up so that I can get the heck out of here. Okay. All right. Don't quit. Joma Shop retail price $2,000. Okay. What do you think of the SBGE 245? I can't keep looking at all these model numbers, folks. I mean, these are personal decisions. You guys got to pick one that you really like because this is a long-term thing. That you can wear these watches for years and years. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful watch. I'm looking at it right now. That's a stunner. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, look at these watches. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And the neat thing about those GMTs, that style, those have micro adjustments on the clasp. So that's a 2 thumbs up for that watch. That'd probably be the watch I would buy if I didn't buy the diver's watch that I have right now. That'd probably be my second choice. In titanium. I'd buy that watch in titanium. You can Omega Speedmaster 300 meter. Yep. Omega Speedmaster perfect. Price. Yep. Absolutely. My GS is spot on to the second since setting it 33 hours ago at Little Treasury. Though there you go. Yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be spot on. Now, you got the spring drive? Hi, Craig. Came back from dancing, 5 a.m. here. Wow. Thought I'd miss you today. Yeah, we started late today. The best opinion on Trump is by Chris Hedges. I don't know what Chris Hedges said. Here's the thing about politics, folks. None of these people are going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So don't be delusional and think that if the Democrats win, that's going to help you, or if the Republicans win, that's going to help you. None of these government people are going to help you in any way, shape, or form. You got to help yourself. You got to get out there and be in motion and make things happen and build a life for yourself and build significant income, build wealth. You've got to work smart. You got to work smarter than the next guy. And that's what you can do, and you'll be okay. But if you worry about this politics stuff and worry about all these issues that are superfluous, that have nothing to do with you, that aren't going to benefit you one way or the other, you'll just be in a quagmire and you'll never get anywhere. I don't give a rat's rear in what they're doing in Washington, D.C., and I live right here in the suburbs, okay? And I don't give a rat's rear in what they're doing because I'm doing my thing. I'm building my wealth, my portfolio, my business, and I just hope they stay the hell out of my business. That's what I want. Just stay the hell away from me. But the bottom line is they're not going to help you. If anything, they're going to try to come and hurt you, but they're certainly not going to help you. And so you're not going to, unless you're in that business, right? Unless you get in there and you're feeding at the government trough, you're working for them, or you're a politician or whatever, you're somehow feeding at the government trough. Unless you're doing that, they're not going to help you. Trust me, they're not. So it isn't going to help you one way or the other. If Hillary would have won, it wouldn't have helped you. If Trump wins, it ain't going to help you. It makes no difference whatsoever. What makes a difference is what you do every day to build something for you and your family. That's what makes a difference. Buying Rolex from anywhere on the gray market is ridiculous right now. You have to really be careful with AuthenticWatches.com, though. They'll give you a short bracelet if you're not careful. I hear you. High beat is apparently more robust than spring drive. No. Spring drive is more robust because of the way the escapement mechanism is designed. It's less wear and tear. So it will have less wear over time than the high beat. I have detailed information on my website. Just go to my website, CraigShipp.com, click on more, pull down the menu, and you'll see where I have a lot of information that addresses that exact point. Oh, shoot. Just jumped again. Okay, there. Let me got on them. Speck got on my glasses. Crying out loud. I'm dropping stuff all over the floor. Whole operation is a mess, people. It's absolutely a disaster. It's almost like Archie Luxury. It's a disaster area around here. Okay, let me look at these comments. Grand Seiko need to be more identifiable names for their naming system sucks. Their whole marketing apparatus sucks. Did I say they don't know anything about marketing? Okay. You can save a lot more money by getting your razors from Dorco. Buy them in bulk, and they're cheaper than Harry's or Dollar Shave Club and the exact same quality. Hey, that's good to know. Let's do a time check. Time check. Time check on saving some money on shaving blades. What we'll do, we'll save some money on shaving blades. Shavery is for suckers. You can't beat hot towel shave by someone who knows what they're doing. Well, there you go. Thank you, Craig. A real man should have a beard everywhere on the body. Say no to shaving. If you're doing business, it's better to be clean shaven and well dressed. Trust me. That old saying, dress for success, it's absolutely true. What do you think of SBGE 245? Okay, I'll check one more here, for gosh sakes, people. This should not be rocket science by now. You all should know what a good-looking watch is. Wait, SBGE 245, that's the one I already looked at. That's this stunner right here. We just looked at that. It's an absolute stunner. Stunning. Absolutely, those GMTs are stunning. Learn to shave with a safety razor, and you'll save tons of money on blades and get a closer shave. Shaving is for girls. My blade expense is not that high. I use the same blade for a week or two, and it works fine. And then I get another blade. I mean, they're relatively cheap. So least of my worries is the cost of the blades, for gosh sakes. I just sent a tax check on one of my houses down in Florida. $4,000 freaking dollars in taxes. I sent them a check. Okay? $4,000. I'm worried about a few shaving blades. I mean, these people are just, they just want your freaking money. Yeah, that's the problem. You own a house, even if it's paid for, right? Every year they want that big fat tax check. You got to give them the money. You got to give those the money. Big money. Now, I'm going to have to send a check for my place here and my other place. I'm going to have to send 2 more tax checks. I'm not a happy camper around tax time. Not a happy camper. I look at the dial. Who shaved those babies? LOL. You're absolutely right. Point well said on politics, Craig. Well, there you go. Rolex for president. Craig for president. Hey, if I first of all, I'd have to sell my real estate here in this area, because if I was president, the values would crash, because I would shut down 90% of the federal government, would just be shut down right out of hand. I mean, they say, oh, you can't fire anybody. I would fire them all. I'd say, go get a real freaking job, man. And you lawyers, you lobbyists that are lobbying everybody, that are living in these 20,000 square foot homes in Bethesda, you're out of work too, because you're done for. I'd get rid of all of them. It'd be slash and burn, man. It would be a bad scene. You worked for the federal government, you would be in trouble. Sounds like communism. What, firing everybody? No, that's the opposite. Communism, I'd be hiring everybody. Only Rolex will help us. More Rolex most of the time. There, build wealth. There you go. The state is bad. Thank you that you have helped yourself not depend on the government. Well, because the government's not going to help you. Trust me, they're not going to help you. Look at all these people in like cities like Detroit and these different places where they've gotten all this help from the government for years and years and years, right? It hasn't helped them any. They're living in squalor. I mean, it's not helping. Canadian politics. Did this entire webcast not mention Bitcoin? Uh-oh, we just brought it up. Let us abolish the state, tear it root from root, and stomp on the court. Well, here's the thing. If Bitcoin takes off, it'll go a long way towards, neutering the bureaucrats. They won't have the power of the purse string. One Rolex for each former and upcoming president. A lot of them do wear Rolexes. They used to wear Rolexes. They don't these days. Samoa has no taxes. All taxation is robbery. They steal. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to get through these comments so that I can wrap this damn thing, and you guys keep throwing new comments in here. Come on, you guys. Take a break, for gosh sakes. Craig, you an anarchist. Wait. Greetings from Hong Kong. Okay, wait. Just posting another comment, so Craig will be here longer. Oh, come on. That's not fair. I never knew where my grain in the public area. Shave and all. Okay, I hear you. Okay. Greetings from Hong Kong. Had a Grand Seiko Spring Drive GMT SBGE001. Amazingly accurate timepiece, but the sapphire bezel was not for me, so I moved it. Should have got the diver. Oh, okay. Interesting. Somebody doesn't like the sapphire. I don't mind the non-sapphire. I don't mind this bezel on this diver. I think it's fantastic. So that's interesting. Kerry, you're an anarchist. You seem to hate the government. Here's the thing. The government doesn't seem to be good at hardly anything. When the government does something, they're very inefficient, and especially the federal government. I think local governments should do just about everything, and that way people have more control, and people can also vote with their feet. So, for example, if they like a state that has less services and less taxes and so on and so forth, they could move to that state. If they like a state with heavy taxes and a lot of public services, they could move to that state. But when everything's done by the feds nationwide, you can't do that. You can't vote with your feet anymore because all the states are the same, right? So the founders were smart. They wanted to have states that kind of did their individual thing so that if you wanted a state with more bureaucracy and so on and so forth, you could go to that state. You wanted one with less, you could go to that state. But the real powerful federal government is doing away with that. And the federal government is very inefficient. And so you end up with a lot of layers of bureaucracy. You have both local, police, and all this stuff, and then you have federal and all that. You have all these layers that you're paying for, and they're all very inefficient. And so it's just a mess. It's a mess. But you can't change it. It's not going to get smaller. Government never shrinks. Government only grows. That's why the Roman Empire failed. That's why it finally crashed. It finally had too much government, and the people couldn't support it, so the whole thing collapsed, and that's where we're headed. It'll probably take 150 or 200 years for us to get there, maybe even 300 years, but we're headed there. How is it in Hong Kong? Okay. I get my 4-blade cartridges from Dorco, and they're good, huh? And they're a lot cheaper than Harry's, huh? Love French women. They do not shave. Well, there you go. The only good-looking watch is GS. All the rest are ugly. Some of the GSs are absolutely stunning. Some of them are ugly. They make some ugly watches. Trust me, they do. Just about all brands make some ugly watches. I don't know why they bother, but they do. Brian LP, good man. I buy my blades in bulk about once every 2 years from Dorco. And I've saved tons of cash compared to shave clubs. Interesting. Interesting, Dur. I didn't even know about these people. Where are they made? There you go. All taxation is raw. Okay. Samoa has no taxes. Well, see, eventually every place has to have some kind of taxes because you have to have some kind of government. You have to have police and things like that. So there have to be some taxes. But, you know, things can also get out of control and get really expensive if you don't watch it. My friend bought a new Rolex from... And they didn't send her the Rolex guarantee card. They sent her a Jamal Shop warranty card instead. Okay. Such a waste. Craig Ferez in 2020. Yeah, right. Amen. Right. Hold on a second here. The reason why they don't card is because they don't get the manufacturer's warranty, only the gray market dealer's warranty. See, warranties don't really matter because most of these watches do not give trouble. So everybody gets all hyped up about the warranty, right? Eric had a problem with his watch, yes, but that's an outlier. That's very rare for a Rolex to give trouble. I mean, that's a gamble I would take if I could get a good enough buy. Now, the thing that would concern me is it a real watch? Is there something wrong with it? Has it been monkeyed with? Is there something shady going on, right? But if it's a real, actual watch and there's nothing wrong with it, the warranty would not be my issue. If I was saving some money. Okay. All right, come on, you guys. I'm trying to get through the damn comments here. Oh, my gosh. Left wing screws everything up, especially places like Chicago, Detroit, and every other broke, crime-filled city. Yeah, it's not just the left wing. All these government people are bad news. I mean, left, right, center, doesn't make any difference. Government is not good at doing anything. I mean, they're very inefficient. Stay with us till morning. Hell with taping those girls with great legs and boobs on the parades. Take a break at least once. There are no parades now. It's too cold right now. I'm up here in Maryland. If I was down in Florida, I could do that. I could shoot the girls down there. Founders also believed in flying and a flying magical Jew in the sky. Jeez. There is no incentive to government to do anything efficiently. They get their pay regardless and mostly try to protect their job. Exactly. Yep, that's just the way it is. My buddy says every time I take a new job, I should improve my income at least 30%. What do you think? That's a good move. Keep improving your income. Income is your friend. And then invest wisely. Be thrifty. Don't buy too many watches. You know why we men do watches? It's because the Bioshes don't understand watches, and anything Bioshes don't understand is a good thing. Archie, yeah. Drain the swamp, LOL. I like having high-quality things, and if it's something I have on my wrist all the time, I like knowing when I look at it, that's a high-quality piece. I like everything around me to be high quality, not just watches. I mean, I just like quality stuff. I've always been that way. It's probably a sickness. So there's that. Electric shaver is free for me. 36 millimeter present in yellow gold. Your favorite? Oh man, that's a killer watch. It's very hard to beat that watch. Craig, you should look up revolutionary Catalonia back in 1930s. Businesses were run locally by employees. Syndicates controlled the bureaucracy, and there was no centralized bank. Okay. All right. Eat the beaver, save the trees. I have a beaver hat. I've hats with a lot of beaver in them. Okay, Harry's. Yeah, Harry's. Buy GS, invest in Bitcoin is the official Craig advice. There you go. Long term. Hold long term. Long term thinking, people. Have a strong hand, as Adam Meister says. Follow Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. Adam Meister. Google him. Follow him. I've interviewed him here on my channel. Search Bitcoin here on my channel. You'll see an interview of him. A couple of interviews of him. He's the Bitcoin guy. And also meets lots of beautiful women. Beautiful women are okay. You got to be careful, man. They can take you to the cleaners if you're not careful. They can be expensive. You think watches can be expensive. You start messing around with beautiful women, you'll know expensive. I'll show you an example. Olga's not going to like this, but I'll show you an example of an expensive woman before we wrap. What do you think? Don't tell Olga I said this, okay? Please don't tell Olga I said this. Here's Olga. Okay. Talk about expensive women. Here we go. Here's Olga. All right. And we went shopping at Tyson's 2, one of the most expensive malls in the country. In the country. Here in northern Virginia. And there's Olga. And that's what you're talking about when you're talking about an expensive young lady. And you take her shopping at the Galleria, and that's not going to be an inexpensive it's not going to be an inexpensive thing for you to do. There's my Frederick.com car, my beautiful Prius with Olga. And you go to an expensive mall with a beautiful young lady like Olga, and it's not going to be an inexpensive thing. It's not going to be an affordable situation. Okay? And that's what I'm going to tell you right now. And that Vuitton bag she's got is real. And see those bags? You know where those bags came from? Okay? Yeah, that's not a cheap night on the town, not a cheap day out, okay? So that's the deal. You got to be really careful about the beautiful women. Turn off the air conditioning in the Capitol building. Make all the Congress meet the middle of July. They can't take me to the cleaners. They can't touch my Bitcoin. There you go. Warren Buffett became rich because he has a strong hand. That's right. Some beautiful women are more dangerous than shotguns. You got that right. Absolutely. I'm looking at, but my gosh, they can be fun too. They can be a lot of fun. I'm looking at essential watches. Okay. She's a stunner. Yeah. She looks 12. She would love to hear you say that. Olga would love to hear you say that. Yeah, she's a beautiful young lady. I think she's about 40. So to me, that's young. But she's beautiful. There's no joke about it. I've known Olga a long time. She's not a stunner. She's a GS. There you go. What did you buy, Olga, at the mall? Or what didn't we buy? That would be the better thing. 31 millimeter Rolex with diamonds for Olga. Yeah, babe. Or GS Limited. Yeah, the girls like the Rolexes. Okay, I'll show you one more girl with a Rolex, okay? That's what I'll do. I'll show you one more girl with a Rolex. One more girl with a Rolex, and then we're going to wrap it. We're going to wrap. We're going to show you Tara. Tara with a Rolex. What do you think? Tara with a Rolex. And this was probably 1980. And you notice she's wearing a lady date on her wrist. That's a lady date Rolex. Rolex! And, of course, a polo shirt. And, again, these photos were taken with my Nikon F3 high eye point in about 1980, maybe 82. Of Tara, another beautiful young lady. And there she is with her lady date on her left hand. That's her left hand you guys are supposed to be looking at. You're not supposed to be looking at her legs. Come on, guys. Get your minds out of the gutter just for a moment. There's me. Believe it or not, that's me with a full head of hair and my safari jacket and my Nikon F3 high eye point taking pictures of Tara. And that's the deal with that. Okay, so I think that's it. That's it. So that is Tara wearing a lady date. Okay, let's see here. 31 mil. That's a stunner. She's not okay. What did you call? What did you? Oh, okay. We already got that. Okay, 31 million. Okay, Craig, your check. Okay, 12 years old. Hey, these girls would love you saying they look young. I mean, they like to think they look young. Buy girls only fake Rolex. They can't tell the difference. I actually gave them real Rolexes back in the day. Tara is stunning. Yes, she was stunning. Absolutely, she was stunning. Stunning. Yeah, no doubt. I told you I have good taste. I'm very picky, okay? I did not lie to you guys when I tell you that I am very picky, okay? About everything. About everything. Very picky. Okay. Craig, that wasn't a photo shoot from Debbie Does Dallas, is it? Oh, no. We didn't do any, we didn't actually, well, let me think. Did I do any nude photos with her? I don't think so. I don't think we ever did any nude photos with Tara. I don't think she liked to do that, the nude photo stuff. You know, nude photos didn't really start becoming a thing until more recently. They weren't as common back then, doing the nude stuff. It wasn't really a thing back then. The Wing girls are stunning too. Oh my gosh, yes. The Wing House down in Sarasota. Ooh, my goodness. All right, folks. They're going off the rails with this discussion. But anyway, I'm going to wrap. We need a live webcast with Craig with the Wing girls. Forget the Gold Stunner. That Prius is stunning. The Prius is stunning. They're a great freaking car. I mean, I still have that car. That picture was taken back when it was pretty new. That's a 2004 automobile. And so it was pretty new when we took that photo because that shopping spree was about that time frame. Maybe it wasn't quite that long ago. Let me find out when that was. I don't remember now when that shopping spree was. Let me go back and pull up that, because those photos were digital, so they'll have the metadata with them. I'll be able to tell when that was taken. Let me go back here and double check. I'll get the date on that. I'm curious now. Oh, it wasn't as long as I thought. Oh, yeah, this was like her second or third trip. Oh, yeah, this was 2013. So this was only 5 years ago. So to see my Prius still looked like brand new. That's how well I take care of these cars. Those photos were taken, I believe, in 2013. So that's only 5 years ago. There you go. Another stream tomorrow, similar time. No, if I do a stream tomorrow, it'll probably be earlier. If I do one tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. But anyway, thank you, folks. Man, we've been going a long time. I don't know how long we've been streaming, but it's been a while. And the system didn't hiccup this time. That's good. All right. So anyway, thank you all for watching. And hopefully we gave you all some useful information. We'll take one more look at the Gold Stunner. It's almost 11 o'clock here on the East Coast of the United States of America. And with that, we are going to wrap this puppy up.